So today, I think just now it was revealed the Oracle's the ascendancy, and one of the more interesting nodes mathematically, I feel, is this node called forced outcome, which gives inevitable critical hits. And yeah, it was surprising. Paul Sharon talked about a surprise that it's not the same as a support gem, which gives a ramping. Your crit goes up, and but actually it's guaranteeing a crit every time. The catch is that if you miss your crits, it just keeps re-rolling until it gets one. So that'd be OP, right? But the catch is that every time you re-roll, the bonus from the crit damage bonus goes less and less and less. So obviously the first thing to think about is, well, that's great for cast on crit or any items that benefit from on crit conditions. But what is the overall damage bonus? This is my curiosity. And Gemini is actually a pretty difficult math problem that I don't even want to work out, but that's the great thing about, Gemini or GPT. They can solve these math problems. I use Gemini because it's proven to be more superior these days, especially for math or technical problems. So it actually not just gave me the text, it gave me a beautiful chart I want to share with people because it's wonderful. I modeled the exact, I gave it this query. You can look at it later. I don't want to read it out, but it's how I interpret the node, and it understood me perfectly, and it had a whole math analysis of it. But we don't want to read that, right? Here's a TLDR. You keep your crit at somewhere. It was a 0.45 apparently, or this circle here, right? Between 40 and 50%. Jack your critical damage bonus as high as you can. And the higher this goes, the more the benefit you get from the node. It kind of reminds me of the lucky spell suppress. You would get the max benefit if you kept your spell suppress at 50% or something. Or just lucky block, lucky suppress. So here, from this node, it makes sense. If you had 100% crit or near 100, this node does nothing because you never need to re-roll your crit. So no matter how much you change shit around, if you fix your crit at very high numbers, the bonus you get is virtually nothing, right? Conversely, if you have 0% crit, it probably won't do anything either. However, sweet spot at 0.5, 0.4 crit, 50% crit at 300, or I believe people do stack a 300% bonus. This node gives you a whopping 65% more damage. It's pretty good, right? I mean, one might conversely think, well, why don't you just jack your crit up to 100%? Because it's hard in POE2. Aside from the Blood Mage and certain types of the Gemling Legionnaire Flicker Strike, they've made it really hard. Or at least you have to put some serious investment into getting 100% crit. But if you were just saying, I'm satisfied with 50%, I can live with the 50% crit, this node looks like to be a 65% more damage if your crit damage bonus is something, here it would be 40% damage, you get I think this is the optimal chart here, right? Should I ask it, what is the optimal? It looks like it's around here, 45% crit chance. Will give you this chart. That's insane. And not to forget that this also has crazy synergy with cast on crit or any on crit, because it's giving you technically the crit every time. And yeah, I think it's pretty cool. I think you can think of it as making crit easier to build for, and also reducing the variability. I think because you're guaranteed a crit, so you'll get a damage bonus. So it kind of squeezes the min and max, which is always a good thing. Consistency is always a good thing for damage. and you just optimize for this node, which means you keep your crit chance investment between 0.4, 0.5, jack your crit damage bonus up as high as you can, and profit. And that's about it.